Hey, what's up, everybody? Wellness Week Live. Okay, medical debt, medical debt, medical debt. Oh boy. Slash your medical bills now. Slash those medical bills, baby. I'm going to teach you how, okay? Okay, everybody, what's up? My name is Anthony. I am the DJ, but I'm also, hey, health and wellness. Love health and wellness. And let's talk about your medical debt. Now, if you are like 99% of us out there, you've had medical debt before. And some of you watching this, unfortunately, you either have had or know someone that has or had a medical debt that is actually crushing. And the number one reason for foreclosure and bankruptcy in our country is medical debt. It's not because someone's a lazy loser. It's that people had health insurance, but it didn't cover everything. They did all the right things. So we got a problem here. And the only two sets of people that don't have to worry about medical debt is on the bookends. Number one, if you're on this end, you have $0, you're homeless, you don't even have a pot to piss in. That person never has to pay for any type of medicine or medical problems at all. Everything is free, or taxpayer pays for everything, but everything is free. That's called Medicaid, I believe. And so I always get confused with Medicaid, Medicare. But anyways, so if you're homeless and don't have a pot to piss in, and like you have $0, absolutely zero, no dollars anywhere, then you have free medical in this country. Okay, you don't have to worry about it. So you're not going to have medical debt. Or if you're a billionaire or extremely wealthy, you don't have any medical debt, you have nothing to worry about. But if you're like most of us in America, where, you're middle class, you're hardworking, you have health insurance, but here we go, so you have some medical debt. It could be medical debt of, an extra $100, or it could be medical debt an extra $100,000. How to slash these medical bills, how to get them under control, how to make a lot of it go away, or maybe even all of it go away, how to slash your medical bills. So I've been in your position before. And so here's what I did. Here's what you need to do. Number one, you get this bill. You're like, oh my God, I have insurance, but how come it's not paying this? It didn't say that, but the hospital said I'm not in the network, but I'm not in the network. They don't cover that, but I thought I did, but this problem's not going away until you address it. First, you're going to breathe. Okay? Relax. No one's coming for you. The SWAT team's not coming for you. You're not going to get locked up in jail. None of that shit's going to happen, okay? So just relax. Oh, but I can go to court. Stop. You're not a bad person. You didn't commit a crime. You're not going to commit a crime. And you are going to pay your bill. You're going to pay your bill. However, you're going to reduce your bill greatly, and you're going to slash a lot of it, and you're going to make it a lot more manageable for you, okay? So number one, you are not going to call a lawyer. That you're not doing, because the lawyer is like, you got a problem with the devil, and now you're calling the devil's cousin. It's like, huh? The lawyer's going to cost you more than the debt that you have. So forget about that. Okay. So I would say first, do what I did. Okay. You're going to call the hospital or the medical facility or the doctor's office, whoever the hell you owe this debt to. You're going to get on the phone or go in person. Okay. Now, who do I call? You're going to call the hospital, and you're going to ask, who do I talk to for my debt? That's what you're going to do. Okay. And they're going to give you somebody that's going to pick up and be like, hey, General Hospital. I'm sorry, what? And you're going to ask them, oh, okay, I have debt. I want to speak to somebody about, managing that or reducing that or talking to somebody. Now, you're really not going to talk to the first person that picks up the phone on this particular topic, because I'm sure they're a nice person, but they're nobody. They have no power. So you want to get to the supervisor or the big manager or the president of the wing of the hospital that owes you the money. You want to talk to a shot caller. You don't want to talk to, the person that picks up the phone the first time. And that person might be like, I am the person that can help you. Yeah, okay. You know what? Thank you so much. I'll call back tomorrow. And then you get somebody else and maybe, listen, I need to talk to somebody, okay? Now, you're going to record every single phone call, email, letter, text. You're going to have record of it. You're going to either write it down on a piece of paper, or preferably emailing is nice because you have record right there to show that you're making a goodwill effort, okay? Now, what I would do, no matter how much money you owe, I would send a little money in. Like send whatever you can send in, because you have to pay this bill, and you should pay the bill. But at least you show that you're doing something. You know what I'm saying? So whatever money you got, I don't care. Oh, I got money. You got money. Stop. Okay. You got money for vaping and alcohol and sneakers and Netflix and frappuccinos. You got money for that dress and these sneakers. You got money to throw a little bit to the hospital, the medical facility. Okay. So you're going to write a check. I don't give a shit if it's a check for $1. Write it, or send in the credit card payment, or go pay in cash, whatever. Make a goodwill to show like you're trying, because that means a lot. Okay. So while you're negotiating, sending in whatever you can afford. And, don't again, you're not going to jail. No one's going to take your home away from you. Yeah, they might put in the collections. Whoop-de-doo. Like, what is collections going to do? They're not storming your house. You know what I mean? So, and collections is laws now. You can't call people at work and all this. Again, no one's taking anything away from you. Okay. Now, the good thing is you got the medical treatment done. Okay. So you're all good. So you're not in a bad spot. The hospital's in a bad spot, and actually, or the medical provider. And again, you're going to pay, and a bad spot's relative because the hospital or medical provider, they're not going to be homeless. They're doing just fine. They're making a ton of money. They can wait to be paid. Okay. I own multiple businesses. I wait to be paid all the time. So you're going to send a little in. Okay. Then you're going to talk to a shot caller eventually, email, whatever it is. Okay. And, you're going to ask them, look, I don't have the money for this. I have insurance. I don't have insurance. I don't have enough insurance. And they're going to be like, well, we could put you on a payment plan. That's nice. Thank you. But I need some type of reduction. Now, you're not settling this. Do not take the bait and don't settle this for months. You want this to go months because the longer it goes, the more it's in your favor because the hospital or medical provider, they just want some level of money ultimately. So they will work with you. Initially, they're going to try to get everything and say, oh, we'll give you on a payment plan, but let it go to collections. And again, you're not trying to be nefarious. You're not trying to be bad, but you're trying to get help. And unfortunately, you got to play a little, chess here. So, and you're going to be polite about it. And you're going to say, look, it's hard for me. Now, if you got the money, fuck it, pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't play games. But presumably you don't have the money. Like most Americans, you're under stress. And you let them know, look, this is what I could afford. What can we do? And you're going to have the same conversation over and over again. So that's how that works. Now, if you have to go in person, you go in person. But once it gets to debt collections, the debt collections actually will take some money over nothing. The question is what? This is where you're going to come in and, the longer you can wait and the more you can just talk to them. But you want to have lines of communication open. You want to talk to the hospital. You want to talk to the debt collection agency. They're not out to hurt you. They're just out to get what they can get and what's fair. These are humans behind the phone here. These are humans behind the computer. It's not some monster from Mars that's trying to fuck you over. That's not what it is. So when you're showing good faith, get the person's number, their extension, whatever it is, and that's what you're going to do. You're just going to open lines of communication. And they can't arrest you. They're not taking you to court because don't forget, lawyers cost money for you. Lawyers cost money for them too. And they're dealing with tens of thousands of patients that are in your shoes too. They're going to take everybody to court. They'll be bankrupt. So they're not taking you to court, and so they're going to have collections agencies try to bother you, quote unquote, whoop-de-doo. And then you just tell them, look, this is a situation. I can't, what can we do? And so, they'll try to meet you halfway, a third of the way, a 70% of the way, whatever it is, but you're going to get your health bill reduced, period. If you don't have health insurance and you got a big bill, actually that's even better because if you don't have health care, then you can you're going to be put into like charity case anyways. So you don't have health insurance. I've had that situation happen before and I just paid cash and I had an injury that cost, an injury to my eye and it cost me about $1,000 and I didn't have health insurance at the time. And so I just walked into the hospital. I go, look, what can we do here? Now, I thought $1,000 for 10 minutes of treatment was like insane, but I told him, I go, listen, I just was curious because I was going to pay the bill regardless. I was going to pay $1,000 because I had it, but I was like, and I just asked, is there a discount for cash? They go, oh, you're paying cash? They said to me, pay us $90. That's what this hospital in New Jersey told me. So I wasn't even looking for a deal. I was just like, yeah, I'll pay the $1,000. And I was just curious, like, is there a discount for cash? I kind of just, was just inquiring. And the bursar at this hospital, I'm not going to name the hospital, but it's in, New Jersey, northern New Jersey. And the lady behind the counter was like, oh yeah, just $90. And I go, hold on, $90. She's like, yeah, you don't have health insurance. So I'm like, no, I'm just paying cash. $90. Well, do the math on that. I don't know. What is 90 of 1,000? 90% off or 87%? I mean, that's insane. So you're almost better off if you don't have the health insurance. Anyways, my point is it can't hurt to ask. It can't hurt to be patient. Ask to speak to supervisors and managers and the vice president. I would literally write a paper letter, put it in a large manila envelope, and I would mail it to the CEO of the hospital or the owner of the medical facility and plead your case. Nobody does that. So when they zig, you want to zag. You want to stand out. And you know what? You're going to see. You're going to get your bill slashed and your bill reduced because you're being honest. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not saying be tricky. Don't be a scumbag. You have to pay, but you'll pay less. Trust me on this one. So as long as you're keeping the lines of communication open, you're making good real payments every month, whatever, even if it's $10 a month, whatever, if that's where they get strong on people. If people are trying to play cute and be bad and nefarious against a hospital or a doctor, then then they could pull out the big guns. But you're not going to do that. So you'll be good, and they'll work with you. So you get more flies with honey than a fly swatter. So that's all. And don't be nervous. Again, they can't bust into your house and beat you up. You don't owe the mafia money. So anyways, do it. You'll be glad you did. Open the lines of communication, and just ask. Asking you shall receive. Talk to the people who are the shot callers. Be patient. Don't take the first offer where they're like, "Yeah, we'll put you on a payment plan." No, I can't do that. I need a reduction, and eventually they will. You record everything you do. Best of luck to you. Okay, tell me what you think. Bye.